Om Shiva Namaya Om Shanti Shanti and Shanti. Shanti, peace be on the listener, whether it's a she or it's a he. And blessings and peace be on the speaker, the one who has the courage and the one who has the nerves to speak out among humans to guide them and bring more clarity in their perception. I have chosen this topic, as you can see the caption, the rules of karma, because of numerous reasons. For one, I have been in a state of meditation for almost an hour now. It's important to speak when you are in a state of meditation because what you deliver is coming from the sacred or coming from the divine. You have no negative traits in you. I woke up super early. As a matter of fact, it is still dark around. And you, of course, right now couldn't see me. And in a bit, when the sun comes out, you would see me. So I bring you out from the darkness to the light. I know what's going on at in the experience, and I also know what's going on behind the experience. I know what is causing what you are experiencing, and I know its effect, even if you couldn't see it. I know the repercussions of an action which goes farther and farther. That's one of the way to look at karma, since we have chosen, or rather, I, the consciousness, have chosen the topic, the rules of karma. I remember, you remember the word remember. I remember talking about that on and off in the messages I deliver, you know, in the previous retreats. However, we didn't get a chance to look into it in such an elaborate and such a profound and detailed manner, you see. Um, Also, the reason behind it is one of the most prominent or highlighted reason behind why we are looking at karma, because it's one of the most falsely misunderstood word. It's one of the most misunderstood word throughout the globe, that almost every other person or a human is coming up with their own interpretation of karma. I was I was having this conversation. I was having this conversation with somebody a few months back. I think I remember it was last year, October, when I was having this detailed conversation, and this person was telling me that how he got how he got aggressive in return, um, to some aggressive person, and he said, yeah, that was instant karma by me. You see the interpretations of karma. Another person, I was having the conversation around same time, and they said, so what about these politicians, and what about these corrupt people, what about these hypocrite people, what about these rich people, where is their karma? So I answered to that, their karma is with them, and I will explain what it means, you see. But I understand what you are saying too, because throughout the globe, a fair amount of human beings comprehend karma such as it's a curse. You understand? Karma goes way beyond being a curse. It's just one small way to look at the same thing. You understand? It's just like this, that if me and you, if you imagine me and you are standing either side of the same wall, you see, one side you are standing and the other side I am standing, and the wall is in between us. From my At my side, the wall is painted in red. At your side, the wall is painted green. We are looking at the same wall, but from my perspective, I would say no, the wall is red. And from your perspective, you would say no, the wall is green. This is an endless debate because both people are right. It's the same wall. Just like that, every other person, or just like that, a culture, just like that, a country, basically look at the definition. A country look at the definition of the same thing from different perspective, mostly whatever suits them. You understand? Mostly whatever suits them. I was going scrolling through some uh, on my news feed, and some person posted, karma has no menu, you get what you deserve. You see, this is another way to look at such a huge phenomena, karma. But we are also going to look at karma beyond these definitions, you see. It's important for us, for the yogis or the sages or the wise men, to shed a profound light on it and look into detail so there remains no confusion among humans. If my words have any weight for you, I don't ask you to accept my words. I don't ask you to discard my words. I want you to just listen and be open to it. If it has a shred of truth, it would make sense to you. Further, moving on. If you want to look at karma, the word basically, if I remember, it's a Vedic Sanskrit word, if you understand what I'm saying. The word basically, it's a Vedic Sanskrit word. However, one way or another, the word is from Sanskrit. That there is no doubt or there is no debate about that. And the word basically, as used in Sanskrit, is karman, and the literal meanings of the word is that which is done. You see, that which is done by someone makes that person. The choices we make, those choices make us. Please remember that. So the literal meaning of the word karman is that which is done. And also the word was used in late 1800 in Oxford Dictionary, I think, for the first time as karma, and since then it became very rampant in the spiritual circles and in an average person's life, and now it is so widespread. However, the word came from where I came from. The word came from where I came from. So I came from a land down under. I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's important to bring some humor time to time. The word came from India, Sanskrit, the ancient language in ancient India. The word came from there. This was the first time where the word generated. So imagine, since imagination plays a very important role in your life, sadly, mostly the imagination tells you to be scared of things or scenarios that are not even real. That's how the human mind hasn't been very friendly to humans. You see, human mind has not been very friendly. Most of the time it's talking nasty, and it's the time of all humanity. It means that you don't even own your thoughts. All I'm saying here right now, without a single thought in my mind, and is still in a profound state of meditation. This is the best time when I deliver a message from the sacred. So the imagination plays a very significant, imagination plays a very important role in your life. Thought plays a very important role in your life. We are going to make you understand. We are going to make you understand through the very thought process, through the very imagination process. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens basically, if you understand something, what happens is, imagine if you threw a stone, like more like a pebble, a small stone you threw, and you have a lot of strength in you. When you threw a stone, it went up so high that after a certain period of time, you forgot all about this particular stone. It went so high, and then you forgot all about this stone. Now the stone, the gravity is catching up with the stone. It's all I am asking to imagine. Now the gravity is catching up with the stone, or the small pebble is coming back and it's landing on your head. You forgot all about it. And then you say, or you would think that somebody is throwing objects on you from the sky. That's when a person is miserable. That's when a person finds himself or herself, excuse me, in a chaotic situation. They look upwards and say, why me, God? Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? God is not doing anything. God has nothing to do with all this drama. You know, Albert Einstein, he said God doesn't play dice. You see, Albert Einstein, you heard the brilliant mathematician Albert Einstein, he said God does not play dice. And remember that, please. So, God is not doing anything what you are experiencing. God is not focused at all to make your life miserable. Please remember something. I want you to hear me out. Remember something. Whatever the quality of life, or whatever the life you are experiencing right now, is 100% your making. 100%, there is nobody to blame. That's karma. Are you understanding? That's karma. Whatever the life, no matter how happy it is, no matter how much in a bliss you are, no matter how miserable you are, or what kind of misery you have attached to your life, whatever it is, there is no one to blame, not even your spouse or your parents or your siblings or friends or anybody, not a single person. On the top of everybody, God. Nobody's to blame, but it's your make. I'm not saying that you should blame yourself for that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's your making, 100%. Why shouldn't you blame yourself for that? Because guilt and blame is not good for you. It's no good. You understand? It's no good. If you just got trapped in blaming yourself and guilt, then it wouldn't take you anywhere. Right now, in this moment in time, in this very moment, you have got choice. You understand? That you are not influenced by the karma and you use your free will. That's where the free will comes from. You see how deeply and profoundly I'm looking at one thing. So karma, basically, and you would look up and you would say, why me, God? Anything goes wrong in your life, you think about all the good things that you have been doing good, or at least it is good in your mind. Do you see? You understand the definition? We talked about that other day. I remember the definition, the connotation, the interpretation, whatever the fancy wording in English you want to use, is basically that that the good you think in your mind, the connotation of it may vary from person to person. Most people or most human on the planet Earth are led by, usually by the religions. You see, religion is another human construct. When you are led by the religion, you think doing something good is synonymous with uh, morality. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That if you are following a human construct, you would think that doing good, you would think, excuse me, you would think that doing good is synonymous with morality. You see, doing good is not synonymous with morality. That's why the interpretation or the connotation of doing good and doing bad varies from a person to person. A person who is on a spiritual path, excuse me, a person who is on a spiritual path, the definition of good and bad he or she has in their mind is entirely different than the person who follow a human construct such as religion. You see, so a person may say, if he's or she are following a human construct such as religion, that I'm doing all the good things, then why I am in misery, and why my life is not the way I want it to happen. For one, life can never happen in the way that you want it to happen. That's how you shed our karma, because of the resistance in the path. Excuse me. It's already mid-September, as you know, and it's a little chilly outside here. But anyway, and my throat itches and gets dry. So, God has nothing to do, or anyone has nothing to do with it. What you understand good may not be good in the bigger scheme of things. What you understand good may not be good in the bigger scheme of things, and in reality. You may consider good that I go to a place of worship 5 times a day, regularly every day. It's a lot of exercise. Anyway, I go to a place of worship 5 times a day. I go to synagogue, or I go to a church every Sunday. It means you are thinking God is something out there, and I am paying my monthly premiums or weekly premiums or daily premiums, so I am safe. You are thinking that you are doing that has nothing to do with what's really happening. It's your thought process, it's your psychology. You are thinking that you are doing something good in your mind, and you expect something in return. Like you make it conditional, you see. You do charity, you make it conditional. Then you ask to God that please secure my family, or please uh, um, guard my family or myself, or give me wealth, or wealth would come in this and that and that. I mean, it all is just untrue, and so untrue. But anyway, you think that you are doing something good. This is what you think. This is what how you comprehend or understand good. It doesn't mean it is good. What you comprehend good and what is really good are two separate things. Have you not noticed, if you look around so closely, have you not noticed all these religious people coming from whatever the religion, downplaying a religion or refuting a religion is not my job, nor I am doing that. It's petty. I don't waste my time doing that because, uh, anyway, so imagine that. Have you not noticed ever that when you look around, you see the religious people or the prominent religious figures from any religion, and they try to put a fake smile on their faces, and they talk about God quite a bit, and they condemn those who are not following them basically, and then they think that they are holier than thou, and then what happens is they do these type of drama mostly to show off. But if you stay for a longer period of time and have an opportunity to look in more profound detail in their lives, you realize nothing, no one could be more miserable than these people. If you are doing good so much, then why bad things are happening for you? Why are you so miserable? You are so miserable that misery even written all over your face. Have you noticed that? So if you are doing so good, so why are you so miserable? Have you not asked yourself this question? The answer to that is obviously what you are thinking is good is different than what really good is. You see, I bring clarity in your perception every time you hear the sound of my voice. You like the sound of my voice, you love the sound of my voice, and you want to hear more. And I would keep going, and I would bring clarity after clarity because I want you to come out from superstitions and look at the life as it is happening from sacred or from divinity, you see. So basically, why they don't ask the question that we are doing all the good, but why our life is so miserable? The thing is, karma mean that which is done. You have done it. Once you have done it, it cannot be undone. It's not necessarily you did it in the present, in the close past. It's not necessarily you did it 12 years back or 15 years back. It's not necessary that you did it 50 years back or in the previous lifetime or the lifetime before and before and before. You have lived numerous lifetimes. You have no realization of that. You have no memory of that. And it's a brilliant thing because if you did have the memory for all the lifetimes, it would crack you up. You would not survive it. So it's a good thing. One lifetime, one brain. Brain is where the memory is stored. So one lifetime, one brain. It's a good thing. That's how nature is, the beauty of the nature, you see. Anyway, so it's not that you are doing everything good in the present moment or your interpretation of good is that and still bad things are happening. No, your life is 100% is you're making every experience which is being generated is because of the karma. And every experience, remember, mind you, every experience which is being generated at this present very moment, even the sound of my voice, is the karma. And karma is not necessarily a bad thing either. You see, karma is just karma. There is no bad or good karma. If it brings misery, and fortunately, if it brings difficulties, people, of course, points out bad karma. If it brings happiness and bliss, people point out good karma. You see, but karma is just karma. So the experience right now you are having, the very experience is karma. the experience is generated because of the karma. You see, the experience looks very subtle. Have you, of course, I mentioned Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is an epic, the brilliant mathematician and the brilliant scientist, beautiful mind. Albert Einstein said reality is merely a delusion. Reality is merely a delusion, but a very persistent one. You see, the reality is very persistent, but the reality is a delusion. And I can guarantee you, I could not agree more. It's 100% true. So the experience you think you are living a life, however you want to look at it, but in reality, you are just having experience, and the very experience is being generated because of the karma. And the reason it is being generated so you can shed the karma. And the way you shed the karma, you are not influenced by the karma, and you make a choice without being influenced by the karma. That's what we understand as free will. You see, imagine a super tight rubber band. The rubber band is tight, the rubber band is thick, and imagine it's hypothetically, not that it's happening, but imagine. So if you take, I mean, for example, if you take that rubber band and you wrap it around your finger, you feel the tightness of that rubber band around your finger, and the rubber band is karma, and the finger you may consider I. You see, and the tightness one's feel is just the experience which is being generated. This is a metaphor. I usually use the metaphor of rubber band because it's very generic, you see. Um, and the rubber band is tied, is wrapped around the finger, just like that. Um, just like that, our karma is generating the experience, this present experience. Have you ever noticed that experience is always present? The memory of the experience you understand as past. But when you are experiencing something literally, it's always present. You see? So now you understand much clearer. So now you understand much clearer. Now you understand in much detail what is karma. You see, karma is the cement. You see, if you want to build a wall, uh, you you bring the bricks and you put the bricks with each other and put the cement. So cement is basically which is holding the bricks. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The cement is basically which is holding the bricks together. You see, that's what cement is. Karma is the cement which is holding the bricks together. And then, uh, if there is no karma, this was one of the things is important to mention. If there is no karma, there is no experience. You understand? That's why I say usually, quite frequently, and I make it prominent and always remember to mention, or at least as much as I can, that the goal of human life, you know, the way you know the human life, of human, the goal of human life is to shed karma, and the goal of human life is to find happiness. is the same thing. The goal of human life is to shed karma. Without karma, a body cannot sustain, because all the karma is gone now. All it remains is the infinite field of self awareness. All it remains is the infinite field of consciousness. You see, the very fundamental of the being without karma. Yogis, the sages, the sannyasis, the agoris from India, they are pointing out, or their quest is the same through different processes, through different methods, which is to attain moksha. Moksha is the end of delusion. This experience right now is delusion, and moksha is the end of it. It's what we understand that Lord Jesus Christ referred as the kingdom of heaven, or Lord Buddha mentioned as nirvana. You see, is pointing out the same reality. A being without karma, that is the end of delusion, the moksha, the mukti. Then now you are out of from the cycle of the birth. You remember the word birth? You are now out from the cycle of birth and from the cycle of bodily demise. Now you cannot be reborn, because all the karma, you see, because all the karma is shed now. You cannot be reborn now. There is no need for you to reborn. As a matter of fact, let me correct that. You, if you want to reborn, you have achieved mukti. Mukti is end of delusion. You see, mukti is ultimate liberation. In religious circle, I think we use the term salvation. Anyway, mukti means end of delusion. Mukti means ultimate liberation, or moksha. However, now you are out, you are free from the cycle of birth and death. Yet, if you volunteer yourself out of compassion, if you volunteer yourself out of sympathy, you can reborn in a very powerful or mighty state. Ramakrishna Paramahansa was one of those people. I have seen people, by the way, like that, that you can tell when you go in their presence that this person has no karma. You can tell intuitively. You don't even have to think. If you just feel their presence, you know this person has shed the karma. Now, when you use the free will, basically, you have a choice to do something better given the karma. When you use the free will, you have a choice to rectify or do something better than you did in the similar experience last time. If you transcend your thoughts or your liking, disliking, your intellect a little, it can help you enormously to shed the karma. Karma is something which is trying to teach you so it can be transcended. If you hear the introduction of my YouTube channel, if you hear the introduction of my YouTube channel, you see I mentioned that life is all about learning numerous lessons, and through learning we shed our karma. You see, it's very important to understand. In order to make a good choice in the present circumstances, you have to be focused enough to know what the experience is trying to teach you. If your imagination or thoughts are haywire, if your imagination or thoughts are going north, south, this east, west, while you are dealing with an experience, then you would feel very agitated, and the chances are you may not make a good choice. In order to make a good choice, you should be in total control of your imaginations and your emotions and your body. You see, it must be aligned. And how do you do that? You make some time for yourself. Everything comes down to, in the end, to make some time for yourself, usually early morning. I keep saying that, and I'm saying that again, you see. So you have a free will that you can change your karma. That's the good news. Karma can be changed, you see. It is attached like that rubber band around, but the karma can be changed. Please know. By making a good choice in the similar circumstances or the similar experience than you did the last time. You see, you transcend your thoughts. It's significant, meaning you become more calmer. You take more charge of your thoughts. You transcend human intellect to a point where you, when you need it, you can use it, but you do not have ill feelings about people when you see them. You see, you don't have ill feelings about other humans when you see them, because if you have these kind of ill feelings about other humans, about a place, about creation, then you cannot change the karma. Then you would go in circle, you will be born, and then you will go to bodily demise. You are stuck in samsara. And the yogis and the sages and the wise people don't want you to stuck there. We are trying to liberate you people, you see. So don't resist, you see. Don't resist in your mind. You go somewhere, you see somebody, whether for the first time or the person has been an acquaintance, you see, and in the back of your mind there is a feeling, I don't like this person. The person may, you may not deal with the person, but in the back of your mind it's there. I don't like the person. The more you say, I do not like a person, or I do not like a situation, I do not like an experience, the more you say that, the more you believe that firmly in your mind, the more you are miserable, is guaranteed. You know why? Because it would happen more. It's not going anywhere. It's your karma. It has to run its course. You see, even God cannot escape from karma. So it has to run its course. It's not going to go anywhere. It would manifest. It would keep manifesting in different forms. It would keep manifesting in different shapes over and over and over and over and over. The more you have the negative feelings about the creation or even a place, the more it would keep manifesting to you. It's a promise from the cosmos to you. So you need to look that how can you transcend the feeling of dislike about something. You can. It's a good news. And the way to do it when you are in the charge of what's really happening. You see, it would keep manifesting till you learn something from it. In other words, it would keep manifesting till you transcend it. You see, and in different forms and in different shapes, it would keep manifesting. And till it teaches you something, you know, the way you can know, the way you can focus, you see, is when you have created sufficient distance from what you essentially are and your thoughts. If you think you are your thoughts, then you are stuck again in samsara. But if you create sufficient distance between yourself and your thoughts, there is a chance that you can see the experience more clearly and you have a sound focus, and then you can transcend or shed the karma. I have made it so easy, so simple for the humankind to understand. Even though if you have any questions, you can write me. However, I know you love to hear my words or the words of truth and wisdom or the sound of my voice. But I will tell you it's important, yes, to have the clarity, but it's also important to do some practical, because clarity without practical does not bring much result. You know what I mean? It may bring some result, however, I'm not denying that, but it does not bring much result. So, by making some time early morning, as you see, I have made this time. It's very early, the sun is still coming out. And by meditating, so come meditate with me.